A few days ago, I made a video talking about the Bible's teaching on spanking. Because in that video I was mainly talking about the Bible from the reference point of spanking, I wasn't able to get into a lot of the information that I would like to discuss regarding spanking. I think it's an incredibly important subject. So I thought I would come back and make this video and the next. It'll be a two-part series discussing the reasons I oppose spanking. Now, I know a lot of people, possibly even including you, the viewer, whoever you happen to be, will disagree with me right from the beginning about spanking. Most people are still, at least to some extent, in favor of spanking. And that can be shown in those videos and other places on the internet where I have written opinions on spanking. And, people tend to disagree with me. But I hope you'll come into it with an open mind. I hope you can agree that if I am correct, that if it is abuse, that if it is harmful, it should be stopped. And that you'll take that seriously enough to at least watch with an open mind, because it is important. Anyway, I thought I would start by discussing the reasons spanking works on some children. Why some children are motivated to modify their behavior in order to avoid spanking. Contrary to popular opinion, the dominant reason for most children is not because of physical pain. Even to the child, it may seem that they're doing it to avoid the physical pain, but that's actually not what it is. And you can tell that because childhood is a painful experience. Even being born is painful. When a child is first learning to stand up, they're going to fall down, they're going to hit their head on things and other parts of their body, and they're going to be hurt. When they start to walk, they're going to be hurt. When they start to run, they're going to be hurt. Children fall down all the time. They fall down using the playground equipment and learning to skate and ride a bicycle. Children get hurt all the time. It doesn't stop them from doing the things that are a part of growing up that involve pain. It is emotional pain. When children are affected to the point where they modify their behavior in order to avoid being spanked, it is as a result of emotional pain. And the reason for that is because to a child, the parents are its world. They are everything. They give the child everything it needs, hopefully. They give it everything it needs. When it looks for safety and security, it looks to its parents. That's the way it is. And when a parent spanks a child, it creates what could be considered an adversarial situation. And I know a lot of parents are going to take exception to that statement and are going to disagree and say, no, we spank our children because we love them. With all due respect, your motives, a parent's motives in spanking their child are completely irrelevant as far as creating the adversarial position. The important thing is what's going on in the child's brain. And in the child's brain, its amygdala is kicking in. It is feeling fear. It is now viewing the one who used to be its protector, who should be its protector, as someone who is trying to hurt it. It will beg for mercy, please don't spank me. I know you've heard that. It will try to get away, try to protect itself, put its hands in the way. It will behave just in exactly the same way as it would with anyone else trying to hurt it. That creates an emotional turmoil for the child. It wants that acceptance and love and protection from someone who is, at least temporarily, in an adversarial role of trying to hurt it. That's also the reason that some children will soon grow out of their response to spanking. Or some other children, because they're more emotionally independent from the beginning, are less affected by spanking than other children are. This, of course, leads into when physical, what anyone would agree is abuse, can happen. Parents will decide that because a child doesn't respond to spanking, because it doesn't obey at the threat of spanking, because it doesn't obey after having been spanked, that it's a tough child and that the spanking does not hurt enough. And at that point, parents will begin to think of more creative ways to make it hurt more. They will spank with objects rather than with their hand. They will spank more often, for longer periods with more strokes. They will spank harder. They will get other stronger people to spank. They will try to make it embarrassing, spanking in front of friends or whatever, to try to make more of an impression with spanking. And that can quickly lead into what even legally is considered abuse. It can also lead to something that could be called the noonday witch scenario. And that's what I'm going to be getting to in the second video. And it's very important, and I hope you'll watch that. I'll explain what the noonday witch scenario is. There are some objections that I often hear when I'm talking about spanking. One of the most common is people will say, well, I was spanked, and my siblings were spanked, and my children were spanked, and my parents were spanked, and we all turned out to be happy, healthy, well-adjusted adults. And millions of other people have gone through the same thing, and they've been happy, healthy, well-adjusted adults. And I don't doubt that. Just because someone turns out to be happy, healthy, and well-adjusted, though, doesn't mean that everything that happened to them when they were young was good for them. As an example, the current President of the United States of America and the one who immediately preceded him, President Bush, were both known to be users of cocaine when they were in their youth. But that doesn't mean that using cocaine increases one's chances of later becoming president. In fact, it could reasonably be said to decrease one's chances of becoming president because it's harmful. George Burns and some other people smoke like chimneys and live to be 100. That doesn't mean that smoking increases your chance of living to be 100. Being spanked is a traumatic experience. Children can live through traumatic experiences, can become well-adjusted, healthy, happy adults after having experienced them. It doesn't mean that the trauma helped the kid. It doesn't mean that the child wouldn't have grown up to be a happier, healthier, better adjusted adult if they hadn't been struck. And because of the reasons I've already discussed and the ones coming up in the next video, I hope parents out there will at least think twice before they use spanking. Anyway, I'm going to sign off for this one and begin the next one. Thanks for watching.